Hello, beautiful human. Welcome to Heart Space Atelier. I am Henry, your host, and I am so grateful that you're tuning in. Welcome to the podcast. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I figured I will give you a proper explanation on how it came about that I'm sitting here and recording this and sharing this episode with you and this newly created artwork of a podcast. So it's been a long journey, it's been a long year, and there have been a lot of things that happened that led me to this point, but I'm not going to be talking too much of that. Maybe I will do that at some point in this episode or in the future episodes. By the way, if you're seeing this, this episode number 1 of Heart Space Atelier, first of all, thank you and welcome. And secondly, if you're seeing this, it means that the whole season 1 is already recorded and ready to go. So this is gonna be including 12 episodes. So if you're seeing this, it's already gonna be pre-made and there will be a new episode every week. And I will also be onto the next season already. So I hope that you will stay and stick with me for the ride of this new beginning. I've done podcasts in the past just for fun, and this is also meant to be a source of fun and a creativity outlet for me. What I've learned is that I flourish and my creativity flourishes the most when it is supported by discipline. So I just thought I'd combine the two. When you see this, just know that there's gonna be something new every week. Okay, my goodness, it feels awkward, but hey, I'm very excited to dive into the subject today of the first episode of season 1, which is the most important romance of your entire life. The romance between you and your inner divine. And I wrote something earlier today that I really want to share. Let me get my iPad. The divine lover within. There's a love living inside of you that will always hold you. Its presence was strongest when you were a child. You could feel it everywhere. When you were climbing a tree, when you were dressing up as a favorite Disney character, when you were dancing freely, admiring the gift of life and being well aware that the whole world is at your fingertips. You know this love faded away in the rush of today's fast times. Yet you know it's still lingering. In between the lines of your everyday life, when you share a smile with a stranger, when you receive or give a compliment, when you take your first sip of coffee in the morning and all of a sudden it tastes like the best coffee you've ever made. When you're off to see your comfort person, when you find a song that holds you in ways you cannot explain, so you're left to feel it deeply. There's a source of love within you that never dies. That source is the most important lover you will ever have. And it's the most important relationship you need to tend to every single day. This lover is a part of you. It is you. It's an extension of who you are, a deeper well of you that holds truth, clarity, and finds joy in the most mundane things, no matter the circumstances. And I need you to know that you can access that part of you. It is possible in every situation, every single day. If you're wondering if you're going to make it, let your dreams unfold in your reality right in front of your eyes. Remember this. You're not here to win a rat race created by people who turn away from God. You're meant to bloom in your own time, your own ways. There's a huge number of incredible becomings, opportunities, and golden seasons that your soul is deeply anticipating. If there's one thing you can trust, it's that the path you're walking on will always continue being illuminated in the most divine timing possible. So yes, you are going to have it. You're going to have it all, and you're going to make it. If you take the hands of the divine lover that lives within you, let it move through you and take action accordingly. You can paint the stars back into your night sky. In fact, you can bring back the endless ocean of stars that gave you company as a child. The magic, the love, the excitement, because guess what? That is the purpose of your life. I don't know what took over me, but I feel like Spirit just really channeled through me as I was writing this, okay? So this is what we're talking about today, the inner romance, the inner romantic lover that lives within you, that illuminates every area in your life if you let it. And this part of you that is so beautifully warm and magical and sees the magic in the most mundane things, right? And peels the layers of the sadness and anxiety and issues and problems, all the bullshit that can be going on in life, that peels those layers back and returns to the root, which is kind of always love, you know? So I actually, I pulled a tarot card for this podcast episode. I pulled a tarot card, and we have the Lovers here. And this is really what inspired this topic that we're discussing today. I think a lot of the times, or all the time, we really forget these days that this state of living in love with the universe, with the world, with your life, this feeling that we had as a child, as we were, moving through childhood. I think it was so much easier when we were little to connect with this divine lover within, right? I feel like these days, as we're getting older, we are straying more and more further away from that because this world is so against it. We are really brave souls for choosing this path and for choosing to try and get this light back behind our eyes and try and befriend the inner romantic lover again, because I feel like this whole world is basically against it. I really do feel like that it's getting harder and harder, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible to live a life of fulfillment, to, find the beauty in the mundane. And I feel like as children, we had it really easy with this exact thing, right? We had it really easy with waking up every day, going through life, being very present, seeking beauty, finding it all around us, because our inner seed of love, our inner divine lover, our inner magic and play just took the lead and made it so easy for us to find it. I want to make this episode today and tell you ways on how to rekindle the relationship between this inner lover and you, because it is fucking hard out here, guys. Like, we are so easily prone to just going through our days without really trying to make it joyful or exciting, or we are having such a hard time finding that magic in the mundane that we always used to so easily find. Like, it was literally at our fingertips, right? Like, no matter what we were seeing, if it was like a little duck just swimming in the pond, or we saw a rainbow, we saw it rain outside, like, as children, we get fucking excited about it. And I feel like this is not completely lost and destroyed. This part is still within us, but it's really asking to be accessed by us again. The first thing I want to share with you guys on how I personally am trying hard to get this part of myself back every single day, because I'm no master. Like, I don't run through my life being like, oh, this is nice and that is nice. Like, yes, I romanticize a lot. Okay, I'm very proud of myself for that. Okay, when I get a coffee outside, I romanticize the fuck out of it. I listen to good music. I am aware of my surroundings. I rarely look at my phone when I'm outside, especially when I'm walking. I usually have it on airplane mode and turned off. Or Or when I'm at the gym in between sets, I also started not looking at my phone, but rather listening to the music, you know, and just trying to romanticize every single moment I have, because it's essential in this world to not go crazy. I feel like a lot of you guys are at the edge of about to be getting crazy. As sensitive beings, it's very easy to fall back into this routine or like almost like addiction to just become pessimistic again, right? Because if we are moving through life with a pessimistic view, it's almost easier, right? Because the world around us confirms it. Like everyone is just having a hard time trying to just get by, and what we see on the news, what people are talking about, and all of these like really intense things which nobody should ever be going through. And if we're privileged enough to live a quote-unquote normal life and live in comfort, have a roof over our heads, have water, have food, we don't live in a war, we have a job, you know, these are all things that are incredibly privileged. And I think it's so sad that we've even come to this point, and that it is not a birthright, and that there's always going to be this source of hatred and evil and fear on this planet. But guess what? This is where I really need you to lock into the other side, to lock into love, because love will always exist. And guess what? It will always win as well. Love is always 100 times stronger than fear, aka the opponent. Fear truly is the opponent to love. I really do feel like hate is not the opponent to love, because underneath hate, I truly feel like fear lies there. In a world where these two things are just really not balanced, and we feel like the fear is taking over so much, we need to lock in. We need to lock in. We have no other choice. Personally, I have no other choice but to meditate every morning and journal as much as I can. That keeps me sane. If I wouldn't be doing that, I would be having a bit of an issue, because I would feel more imbalanced, you know? Or if I were to wake up in the morning and take out my phone and watch the news or something, or like go on social media, like I would be having an issue. And I feel like a lot of you guys have an issue. And if you do that, you need to stop doing that. You need to lock in, because locking into love maxing, aura maxing, like whoever they're calling it these days, like is essential to living a life of fulfillment. Okay? So yeah, I kind of went on a little side rant here, but what I was trying to say is, you know, just being more present and locking into your routines is really what keeps you sane. And locking into the present moment will also make you realize that love is always accessible to you, no matter the circumstances. Let's say you are outside and you're having a really bad day and you're just going for a walk, and suddenly the tears just start flowing out, right? And you're very emotional, and you're like, oh my fucking god, like, oh, like, everything is being swallowed in my sadness right now. And you're walking around and you have this emotional moment, maybe you're listening to some sad music as well. You look around, you take a deep breath for a second. You see birds flying around over you in the sky. You see beautiful clouds passing by. You see trees and their leaves just swinging with the wind. And there's this really old couple holding hands, walking in front of you. And all of a sudden you're like, wait, there's so much happening around me that is so full of love, you know? So many things that are rooted in love are happening around you at all times, but we need to learn how to tune into them, how to log into them. Step number 2 on how to rekindle the relationship with your inner divine lover: get a fucking hobby. Get a hobby. What are you doing? Guys, listen, I kid you not. Having a hobby is essential. Having a hobby that you think about or do, the very best, do every day, amazing. Okay? But also fucking essential. You need that. You need to have a hobby every single day. I don't care what it is. I also don't care how short it is. How short the time you spend doing that hobby is. I don't care. You need to do it every day, okay? If you like coloring books, if you're doing it 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes a day, I don't care. In between breaks, you guys need a hobby to stay sane, because a lot of you guys are just wasting your free time scrolling on your phone and calling that a hobby. Oh yeah, I do social media. Oh yeah, I love social media and looking at different things and aesthetics, and I like making mood boards and like whatnot. Guys, these things are beautiful, but you need to get out into the real world and create with your hands. Your hands are the most magical thing you could ever have in it. Like, your hands are basically your magic wand. Okay? You have 2 magic wands attached to you at all times. With those magic wands, you can play piano, you can play the guitar, you can craft something, you can knit something, you can sew something. Sew. I think it's called sew, right? Sew is like sewing, as in, oh, you're getting sued. but so, I think it's sewing, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. You can make things with clay. You can dance. You can learn how to do a handstand. I did this year. Great experience, by the way. Like, if you are feeling anxious and like the world is like, your whole world is all over the place, learn how to stand on your fucking hands. The world will turn upside down for 1 second and you will feel relieved afterwards, okay? But you need to devote yourself to one hobby, at least one hobby, guys, okay? Because I feel like I am a very creative person and I act on my hobbies every single day. I play the piano. I sing. I also play a bit of the guitar, even though I'm shitty at it, but that will not stop me ever. Which, by the way, you should never let yourself be stopped at doing something just because you're bad. It's just bad because you're not practicing it enough. Be devoted towards it, and only magic can come out of that then. Only magic. If you devote yourself to a hobby, you set yourself free. You pour your energy in something that is incredibly, incredibly abundant and beautiful, and at some point you will harvest abundance from that, you know? So I think if you have one skill that you can perfectionize, it's gonna help you out so much. It's gonna bring so much life into your life, you know? And so yeah, create with your hands. It's very important. We need to touch dirt. We need to hug trees. We need to touch the grass. We need to touch even the dirt, because I feel like we don't do that enough. We need to touch the sands at the beach and the beautiful stones at the shore, and we need to get our hands dirty again. I remember when I was very little and I was spending time with my father's then girlfriend. She took me to her little art studio and she was like, all right, it's time to throw some colors around and make a mess. I don't know what the background behind that was. Like, I think the place was gonna be demolished or something, so she was like, let's get it messy. I think that was the case. If not, props to her even more. But what we ended up doing, because she was an artist, she basically put all the paints in front of me, like opened them, and then she just started splashing those colors around on the walls, up in the air, on ourselves. Like, it was crazy. We need that level of creative messiness to keep us sane, because we can no longer go on and expect for our clean routines and everything to be organized and great. Like, if you have passion inside your heart and you're creative, you need that creative messiness sometimes to stay sane. The next thing you should do to keep this inner divine lover in touch with you, to have a connection to them, is to make your home a space where your dreams are more prominent than your fears. What I mean by that is having pictures around in hanging around your space that represent the energetic wavelength you want to surf on. Okay, so in my kitchen, for example, I have a lot of pictures framed on my wall that kind of represent my dream life. You know, I have beautiful sceneries, I have things that I would like to manifest, places that I would like to manifest. I have so many things in my apartment that make me remember that my dream life is already kind of manifested into my current reality, because I have these things that just remind me like, oh, actually, like I see my home as this gallery of things, of magic items that make me that make it easier for me to bring this dream reality into my current reality already, you know? So make sure your home is energetically warm and inviting of your dream life, you know? For example, like if you want to manifest a move, guys, oh my gosh, I have a story about that. If you guys live somewhere that you're not really happy about, you know, you live at a location where you're like, okay, yo, I cannot wait till I move. Maybe you are still living with your parents and it's a very toxic household and you need to get out. Or maybe you're living in a city where you're like, oh shit, like this place is no longer for me. If you're unhappy with your living situation, guys, trust me on this. I've done it a few times in my life. When I desperately want to move, I will decorate the shit out of my current home. It's gonna look like the most beautiful, abundant thing, to a point where I be like, oh my gosh, yeah, I found my safe haven in this mess. Why is this important? Because you're basically gonna quantum leap through that, okay? So let's say you are so unsatisfied with the city and location you live in and you just want to get out, you cannot take the shit no more. Decorate your home, hang pictures up on the wall that represent your dream life, your dream home, okay? Treat your home as if it is already your dream place, okay? Before I moved to this home of mine, where I am now, I did that. I was so unhappy with my living situation to a point where I was like, I hated it, okay? I hated it. Energetically, I fucking hated it. I needed to get out of there. So what did I do? I alchemized the shit and I made my home space the most beautiful home space ever, so that I could already feel like I'm in my dream home, and I would therefore quantum leap into the home that's meant for me. Next step on how to reconnect with your inner divine lover. Very important step, guys. And I can no longer stand it. If I see one of you not doing this, you will be sent to clown jail. And I will be putting you there. And I will come visit you every week, no, every month, and give you a way out. And I will ask you, have you done this? Have you started doing this? Then you will get out of clown jail. Start loving your appearance, start loving the way you think, start putting yourself on a pedestal, start completely falling in love with the beautiful person that you are. Because we have to remember, our soul reincarnated on this crazy world, already knowing how it wants to embody the beauty that it is. Your soul came here with a plan, so it doesn't matter how you look, who you are, your soul chose this. Your soul chose how you look. Your soul chose who you are. Your soul chose your beautiful personality. So I know to some of you, maybe you absolutely hate yourself, and just me talking about this makes you very angry because you're like, wow, how can you say this? Like, I'm ugly through and through, like, whatever. Think of the bigger picture, guys. The beauty that you were taught to love and appreciate is a very small-minded beauty. There's so much beauty around us and so much beauty we can find in the quote-unquote ugly. Only our soul can comprehend, and only people who are in touch with their heart can comprehend and understand. Okay, so if you think you're ugly, you're really not, unless you're a really bad person, you know? I know a couple of ugly people, but you're not one of them, okay? And even if you are, I'm giving you the chance to change. If you're an ugly person, if you're totally fake, if you like to, like, your only thing in life you love is to cause drama or something, then you're ugly. You know, if you do bad things, you're ugly. But otherwise, you're not, because your soul saw the beauty of you, and that's why I decided to embody this physical beauty that is you, you know? You can no longer move through your life thinking that you are ugly, thinking that you're a burden, think that you're talentless. You have only scratched the surface of your being. You don't know how much magic is beneath you. You have no idea, not beneath, inside of you. You have no idea how much magic there is yet to discover. And you need to peel back the layers of shame, of guilt, of frustration with yourself, of hate towards yourself. Oh my gosh, so many of us, we had the hardest time in high school. And this is, or like, you know, like puberty, and we started completely hating ourselves. A lot of y'all just haven't had the chance to release that hatred towards yourself yet, and now you're in your 20s or 30s or what, it doesn't matter what age you are, and sometimes you still catch yourself looking in the mirror being like, yeah, you know, and we need to change that. Why do we need to change that? Because I dare you to. A lot of you guys are unintentionally being pygmies. Okay, you look drop dead gorgeous, yet you always seek for approval, and when somebody tells you that you're beautiful, you think that they're joking or that they're just saying it. No. If somebody is giving you a compliment, you need to start accepting it, saying thank you instead of talking yourself out of it. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my gosh. Guys, listen, this really gets me heated because I know some of the most beautiful people who act like they're walking outside looking like who did it and why. And I always think to myself, honey, you are so far away from that. You look so stunningly beautiful. You have light behind your eyes. Listen, guys. Having light behind your eyes makes you 100 times more beautiful. I need you guys to understand, lock in on this with me. If you have light behind your eyes, if you have kindness in your soul, you are 100 times more beautiful than the average person who doesn't have that. Some of the most attractive people I have met may have not been the most conventionally attractive people, but to me, they're the most beautiful and they're the hottest people I've ever seen. Why? Because of their personality, because of who they are, because of how they spread love and share kindness. It glows through them. Their soul glows through them. Energy is a thing, guys. We need to remember, like, our whole reality is kind of rooted in energy, you know? Like, energy is everywhere. Energy doesn't lie. So if you're conventionally attractive and you have horrible energy, I promise you, you're ugly. But if you are not conventionally attractive and you have pure, loving energy towards yourself, and you like to share that, and you have light behind your eyes, you are incredibly beautiful. And I'm not just saying that. I know it sounds really cheesy, but I really mean it. Another thing you need to do to get your self-love back on track is really looking in the mirror, and when you look in the mirror, only think and say kind things about yourself. Also in social situations, like if you think it's a good idea to always make fun of yourself, like, oh, I'm so clumsy, like, oh, I'm so forgetful, oh, I cannot keep my ducks in a row, oh, like, I'm so this, I'm so that. Stop that. You are reinforcing that every time you're talking about it, because energy will heal you in ways that quote unquote reality cannot. Okay, another example, like earlier this year, I was kind of dealing with like hair breakage because I bleached my hair a bit too much because I went like really blonde for a couple of months, and I started having like super dry hair. It was like breaking off because I bleached it so much underneath the brown. And I was like, okay, actually, I'm not gonna sit here and complain. And I was just looking in the mirror and the hair was breaking off. I was like, fuck. Wait, actually, no, not fuck. I have great, healthy, thick hair. Because my hair actually is like, I love my hair. I never really had like issues with it before, you know, but it came to a point where I really bleached it way too much. So that's when I started reaping the rewards of that, and I didn't like it. So I started telling myself every single day, like, my hair is super healthy. I love my hair. My hair is super thick and oh, it's shiny and whatnot, and oh my goodness. And it worked, guys. Like, my hair is so healthy. I'm telling you, what you're saying to yourself matters so much. Kind of like the highway to reconnecting with love, your inner divine. Become more selfish. Become more selfish. Be okay with the fact that you're sometimes gonna fuck up, because you will. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you will, and that's okay. Because what would really exist in your life if everything would go the right way, you know? Like, it would all be so blank and boring, and also love wouldn't exist. Love exists because of the ongoing duality of the opponents, you know? Make sure that you know that it's okay to fuck up sometimes, and don't blame yourself too much. And return to this inner space of like, yeah, it's fine. I made a mistake, but I love myself and I love this lesson, and I'm gonna fix it and I'm gonna learn from it. And because I'm gonna learn from it, I know that I'm not a moron. You're gonna fuck up. It's okay. It doesn't make you more special. You're gonna fuck up, but you're also gonna do so many things right because you have a pure soul. Start putting yourself on a pedestal instead of other people. Lift yourself up. One last thing I do want to mention, which I think is, for me, the most important thing. So all of this can be practiced easily and set in motion easily. Everything we just talked about. Meditation. Every day. Okay? If it's 5 minutes, it's 10 minutes. 10 minutes is amazing, by the way. I always do 10 minutes at least. It puts you back into the present moment. Throughout the day, you can feel the difference if you meditated in the morning. Okay? You will feel the difference if you did or not. I always do. I meditate daily, but on the weekends I do make an exception because I spend time with my partner, and then it's just, I want to enjoy my weekends. So like the journaling and meditating sessions are mainly reserved for the weekdays, you know, so you can also maybe like do meditation schedules, so it doesn't have to become like a excessive thing unless you wanted to. It shouldn't bring you more stress, but I think it's very important you start diving into that, because we need to reprogram ourselves to be more present, because that is when that magic honey juice of divine love, that's when it comes, when we are more present. We can only receive that divine love, honey juice, whatever you want to call it, like the golden, beautiful love juice. When we are present, we cannot really receive it if we're up in our heads thinking about all the things that are going wrong, you know? So make space for that. Even just 10 minutes of meditation, you will start feeling the effects after a couple of days. This world moves so fast. Would you rather be one of the billions of fishes in the sea that just move so fast that you cannot even experience and appreciate the beauty that is around you? Or would you rather be a very steady paced and loving fish, a loving little glowing fish that swims around and appreciates the beauty, and therefore is so much more full of life than the others. Who would you rather be? You decide. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it brought you some clarity on what to do and what not to do. I just hope it brought you more light and love, because I feel like that's all we need, especially nowadays, you know? So this is really what my intention with this podcast is to just share the golden love, you know, and how to reconnect to this divine inner lover. And by the way, I feel like I didn't really talk about who I think this divine inner lover is. I think the divine inner romantic lover is your inner child. And we embodied this beautiful energy so much. And I think it's so important that we rekindle our relationship with it, because your inner child is truly rooted so deeply in love and sees the magic and has hope so easily accessible. So I think for me, that is who the divine inner love really is, you know? It's the inner child, and it's always going to be there with us. And I will talk a lot more about the inner child in future episodes for sure. I hope you do stick around. Let me know how this episode made you feel and what resonated with you. I'd love to hear from you. And if you could rate the podcast, that would help me out a lot. So thank you if you do that. I highly appreciate you. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to Heart Space Atelier. And I will be back. And I hope you join me. And remember, love is all around you. Magic and beauty is, in fact, at your fingertips. You can live a life of joy and fulfillment because it's your birthright. This is what you are meant to enjoy life. You were put on this earth to enjoy life, okay? Thank you very much. I love you. Bye.